all delegates at VARIndia. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to talk about a couple of technologies which today is providing a tectonic shift in the IT industry. There are two words which are very popularly spoken about these days in the IT industry. One of them is virtualization and the another one is cloud. And both these words were heard in the previous presentation as well. I will try and keep it as simple as possible without using too many technology terms here. Probably communicate what this means to end users and to consumption, people who are consuming the services from various parts of the IT departments in the government sector. So the challenge that we have in front of us today is we have built data centers which are very complex. We have built data centers where one application runs on one server. So more the applications, more the servers in the data center. Today a simple cell phone carries more than 100 applications. And if you look at it 10 years back, if you look at a cell phone that hardly had a VGA screen, it had a phone book and there was nothing more to it. Probably a cell phone today carries as many applications as server did 10 years back. So with this kind of an information flow that is happening, in the next 10 years, if you were to see, if you put one application on one server, probably we'll have data centers which are the size of football fields or beyond. This is a huge challenge with the kind of information flow that is happening. We are enabling IT in a big way, but how do we manage this information burst that is happening? Can we build that kind of data centers? Can we manage that complexity? It is already very complex today, and it is already very brutal today. So this is where the IT industry is looking at ways and means to simplify and to grow and to manage this information flow that is happening from various quarters. So one of the technologies that is very interesting and that has been adopted rapidly worldwide is called virtualization. Maybe a big term, but just to simplify that, what virtualization is all about is running multiple virtual machines on top of a physical machine. So instead of having one application on one server, today we are able to run multiple applications on one server. So the concept of virtual machines has led to a reduction in the amount of space that you use within a data center, because now if 100 servers were doing a certain computing capacity or a computing job, now you have almost 10 servers that do the same job which 100 servers used to do before. That is because a lot of the servers that were being used previously in the data center were all running at 10%, 20% utilization. So one server, one application, 15, 20% utilization. Whereas now, we are creating a computing layer. So the computing layer can run multiple virtual machines and they can share capacity amongst one another. So in short, we are able to do much, much more with a smaller footprint and multiple virtual machines running on top of physical machines. And this has also led to certain other advantages. For example, when there is some sort of a failure or some sort of a power fluctuation, all these things happen which are things that we don't plan for. These virtual machines have the ability to move from one server to another automatically. So it has given the end users far more availability. It has given the applications also far more availability. Even if there are routine maintenance jobs, you can just move a virtual machine from one server to another server and do the maintenance job and bring it back to the original server. So a lot of these flexibilities have been achieved. At the same time, it is very green. Because when we are talking about reducing 100 servers to 10 or 15 servers, you are talking about power consumption being lowered drastically. So this is a great return of investment, and at the same time something that is a must do, because we would not be able to otherwise handle the kind of information flow that is happening. We need to kind of do a lot more things with lot lesser resources, and this is a technology that is enabling that. The reason why I said the second technology, the cloud, that is being talked about in a lot of forums these days, it is termed as a $160 billion industry that is going to come about. One of the things that cloud brings as a promise is the ability to move virtual machines, which are equivalent of servers in the virtual world, from one data center to another. So today you have a lot of data centers which are offering public cloud services. Basically, what this means is an ability to run your applications from an external service provider at a far cheaper rate than what you're doing currently, thanks to technologies like virtualization, which have reduced the cost of running those applications in external service provider environments, and also has given you a lot more flexibility in terms of how to run IT. So the web era basically changed the way we consume services. So today you have email available on the phone. Today, if you want to buy something, you go to an internet site and you can buy, you can order, and it gets delivered home. So that changed the consumer behavior. It changed the way we consume services. But what has not changed is the way we deliver those services. So if we continue with the same one server, one application in a data center, and the consumption of services changes in a drastic fashion, the way the number of websites are coming up and the way consumers are consuming these various goods, and the way we are able to reach out to people in general through all those sites and all those initiatives that were spoken about before, we also have to change the way we develop and the way we run these applications within our data centers. Otherwise, we will not be able to keep pace with what is happening in the external, that is the consumer side or from the citizens side of things. Also, one more interesting trend that is coming up is new devices. So if you go to any international airport today and ask for some guidance and ask for some directions, there are people with iPads who quickly see what is happening, and they are all wirelessly connected to the network. Small form factor devices, easy to carry, right in the hand, but does a lot of things. So a lot of end users will now start demanding that we don't want the usual traditional PC, we want different devices through which we want to access the same applications. And all this is possible today through technologies like desktop virtualization, for example, which allow you to access the same application, either e-governance or any other application that has been spoken about before, with the help of these devices in a virtualized fashion. So these are the new things that are coming up in the IT landscape. So there will be new demand for newer kind of applications which are lightweight, which can work in the cloud era, new devices through which we will access these applications, and new infrastructure, as I spoke about, with virtual machines rather than physical machines that are powering your applications and the enterprise. So given that, how do you manage and how do you weave all this together? This is the next tectonic shift that we are talking about, and VMware as a company is underpinning or is at the forefront of this technology revolution. Let me give you an idea, especially on the infrastructure side, as to how to do it. Some of the questions that might arise in your mind is, I have done so many things, I have invested so much in state data centers and other places, do I need to rip and replace anything? The answer is no. So the first step towards virtualization is to get some of the very trivial applications like maybe email and some of the other file and print servers or lesser critical applications within the organization virtualized. The second step we take is to take on the more serious applications like the e-governance applications or in some other financial accounting kind of applications, which are very critical to the government as the next step, which we call as business production. The third step is when we enable the cloud computing. When we say enable cloud computing, we are talking about offering the whole thing as a service from a portal. So today, technology is evolved to such an extent that you click and the server can be provisioned without any human intervention. All it will take is a few approvals of concerned authorities who approve of provisioning of that server. So instead of taking days and months going through a tender, ordering for new servers, here with your existing capacity, you can create so many virtual machines that probably you can just allot them to the end user as required. And if you look at the time taken to set up a server vis-a-vis set up a virtual machine, it takes a few minutes vis-a-vis a day or two to set up a physical server. So if there are campaigns that are running, if there are grievance sites which are being set up for some urgent requirements within the government, it is very easy to configure virtual machines vis-a-vis physical servers. So in a short period, you can achieve a lot more if you are virtualized and you adopt cloud computing. Also, as I said, some of the interesting examples today in hybrid cloud computing, where you have an external service provider and a cloud within your state data center or any data center within the government. The ability to move the applications between one cloud and another cloud is called hybrid cloud. So for example, if there is a institution which is an educational institution and releases marks or examination results once in a year, and during that time in a year, there will be so many thousands of students who will hit that website. Should they buy very big servers with very high compute capacities and leave that idle for rest of the year just to take care of that one spike that is coming during the course of the year? The answer is no. So there is technology available today where they can have minimum resources within their data center, and as the time comes, they can use resources from an external data center and actually go through the entire examination results without having to buy huge capacity and invest it for just one usage during a year or two usages during the year. So these are the different flexibilities that are coming in within the data center technologies with virtualization and cloud that help you expand and compress as needs be. So just a couple of slides on our company, VMware. It's in the leaders quadrant of Gartner. It is known for both virtualization and cloud, and it is a $3 billion plus company. And we have more than 3,000 customers in this country itself and more than 2.5 lakh customers worldwide. So thank you for this opportunity.